This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Sorry, Tim. I'm just looking at all the controls, making sure before I hit play, everything was correct.
Hit record?
Oh, shit. Yeah, record. Okay. I record and play at the same time. You have to do on this one.
Oh, wow.
Remember that? You'd have to do that with some recorders. Cassette players if you wanted to record some. Just hitting record wasn't enough.
No.
I like the ones where the record button clicked down and then you could like wait and press the play button. Because some of the ones where you
didn't
clicked
live in a
them
household with such luxuries.
Some of them when you had to press them both together, they didn't always stay.
I had some where like if you pressed the record button, there's like it was like a black button, but there's like a little red circle in it that wasn't connected for some reason. But then the play button would like go down automatically
like
with
a ghost?
No, it was more like a mechanism within the tape recorder.
You took it apart to make sure?
I didn't verify it myself, but my friend did.
Well, it sounds like a good...
I had my friend over who was handier than I was.
Your friend could be a liar. It could have been a ghost.
Could have been a ghost. My house...
You ever heard of the ghost in the machine?
All right.
That's what they're talking about.
How are you doing this week, Tom?
I'm doing good, Tim. I'm flying high off of big claw machine wins.
Oh, yeah. You were bragging about this before.
Well, Tim, once you hear what I won, I think you'll be pretty surprised, pretty impressed.
You were just on a claw machine...
claw machine-centered vacation.
Yeah.
No, I went to the Jersey Shore with my fiance's family.
Spent the weekend at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 at the Jersey Shore.
What song is that?
Well, we're living here in Allentown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Tom,
there are
I have terrible news.
What?
They're closing all the factories.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
And
it's getting very hard to stay.
A what? Oh, just to stay?
To stay.
Hey. A lot of Pennsylvania people vacation at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, Billy Joel? Sounds like he did his research.
Yeah. Hey. Point to Billy Joel. Billy Joel won.
He's got enough
Tim
points.
and Tom, 0.
Billy Joel's got millions of points, and we've still got 0.
Yeah.
We had one and we lost it. We were disqualified. But yeah, there was an arcade, like a boardwalk arcade with tons of claw machines.
How much did you spend, do you think, cumulatively?
I know
on
how much I
machines?
spent. I spent $25.
On claw machines?
Yeah, on claw machines.
Okay.
On the claw machines and like other arcade games and stuff.
How much time cumulatively did that $25 represent in entertainment?
Probably like 2 hours or so.
Oh, that's great.
Well, they had 20.
I always think of things in terms of movie tickets.
Yeah, that's a good. I do the same. Like sometimes I'm like, should I like buy this like $10 game? I'm like, if I play it for an hour or two and I enjoy it, that's cheaper than a movie.
Yeah. Especially these days, Tom.
Yeah.
Especially in this 4DX powered world we live in.
Oh, I wish. I wish there were more 4DX theaters. Sim, unfortunately, it's proprietary technology to the Regal Corporation. What would you expect from a company with a kingly name like Regal? But quite the throne. A throne that moves itself?
Well, who's going to know best?
Yeah. The king.
The king.
All
hail the king.
So, $25. They had 20-cent skee ball.
All right.
So that killed a lot of time.
20 cent?
20 cents.
Come on, just make it a quarter.
No, because then you get 5 plays instead of 4 for $1.
It only takes dollars? I thought people were putting dimes in.
No, it takes like a card. You swipe
2
a
dimes,
card.
Please.
No, you swipe a card.
What is this, 1923?
No, like I said, you swipe a card.
Paying things for things, Tom. You're paying for things in dimes, like in the 1920s.
Very modern, Tim. You buy the card, you put money on the card.
It's 100 years ago.
Let me run down what I won in the claw machine. And all right, I'll give you the caveat in a minute. One thing, a mini basketball.
Ooh, for a sporto such as yourself, that's huge.
It's actually like a pretty decent quality basketball.
Can I have it?
No, you can't have it. It's mine.
My
I want
son
it.
really likes basketballs, and I don't know where to get one.
Uh,
They closed the Models. Models doesn't exist anymore.
Tim, I potentially have another ball for him.
Okay.
Because I want another ball. I want a flash ball.
Whoa,
Like,
what's that?
You know, the comic character, the Flash.
That's the one that you're trying to get rid of?
Yes.
Like it's the dastardly Ezra Miller.
Exactly, Tim.
Yes.
I can't afford to be connected with that guy
Does it
right
have
now.
their face on it?
No, it just has the Flash logo.
Oh, okay. Well, that seems pretty cool.
It was in a case full of like DC logo balls, basically, and the Flash one was the easiest one to grab. I won it, and then I said, I think I could probably get that Wonder Woman ball. And then I went, what? I don't even want this ball. What am I? Why should I try and
But
get
all
more
the other
balls?
stuff that you're going after in claw machines, you desperately want.
Well, wait, Tim. Wait till you hear what the other things are. Then I got a plush squid that turns inside out. It's pretty neat. I got a little tiny squeezy alien.
Do the eyes pop out?
Nah, it doesn't really do anything. It just kind
But
of
like
squeezes.
this is all stuff that is up your alley. Maybe not the squid, but like the Flash.
Mhm.
You got aliens. This is Tom Reynolds to a T.
Yeah. Well, so
This
then
Boardwalk Arcade at the Jersey Shore really has your number.
listen to this. Then they got a machine that has a bunch of boxes in it, just plastic treasure chests.
The only thing that would be more on brand is if there was a claw machine where you could get a 3D printed gun.
Tim, you don't need to win
Pick
that.
that
That's
up.
why you buy the machine, so you can print it yourself.
Sorry, so there were boxes.
Little plastic treasure chests that are locked. And the way this worked was if you got one, which I did, you had to bring it to the counter, and then you would have to make a deal or no deal style choice.
Oh wow!
Open it.
Were there beautiful women there? To...
There were not beautiful women there, Tim. I think there were like a surprising amount of older women enjoying the arcade while I was there.
Was there a bald man with OCD urging you to take the deal?
No. I'll get to why I was so mad. The sign on the machine says like, "Don't open this when you get it." I tried to open it. I was like trying to figure out a way to open. It's like locked with an actual little padlock, like like the padlock you put on a suitcase, maybe.
Right.
Or
So
it's like I could force that
if
but-
you needed to.
Yeah, if it was an emergency.
If there was an EpiPen in there and somebody went into anaphylactic shock.
Tim, that's one of my fantasies. That so I don't want to see anybody go into anaphylactic shock, but that they would say, "Is anybody a doctor?" I said, "No, but if there's a EpiPen inside a claw machine,
Oh yeah.
I can help." And they say, "There is. It's the only way to save this man's life," and I do it.
Gonna need a lot of dimes.
Tim, again, it's a card. You just swipe the card. But then I could force this thing open. But anyway, I didn't force it open. So here's what the game was, the game within a game, if you will.
Man, this is the gift that keeps on giving, huh? No wonder you had 2 hours worth of fun here.
Inside this box was anywhere between 10 and 1,000 tickets.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say dollars.
No. 10 and 1,000 tickets.
Okay.
Or you could not open it and accept 300 tickets.
Ah.
Which is what I went with because my
Wait.
thing, yeah. Here's why, Tim.
Were the tickets that important to you?
Yeah.
Like getting some chintzy
Wait till you
piece of
hear
shit?
what I got,
Okay,
Tim.
all right.
I've
You had
saved
already
the best for
won
last.
so much, Tom.
No. Wait till you hear what I got. I saved the best for last.
So you took the 300 tickets. You didn't even get to see what was in the box.
No.
You leave the boardwalk. No.
Well, let me explain.
I'm so upset.
First off, the reason why I didn't open it is, are you really going to trust an arcade with a game of chance?
That's true. Oh yeah, like they are.
Oh,
like,
yeah, well,
one-
one of them in there has 1,000 tickets, but unfortunately you got the 10 ticket one.
Right.
So I was like, 100% all these things have 10 tickets in them.
Tom, one time I was at the bowling alley
Uh-huh.
and there was a claw machine there,
Yeah.
and Ryan McCaslin, direct hit, got a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Started pulling it up, and it wouldn't come up. Finally came loose. It was duct taped
Oh,
to the
those
stuff beneath
scoundrels.
it, and like Ryan McCaslin, to his credit, stuck with it
Yeah.
and didn't give up and loosened it.
Uh-huh.
But a lesser 11-year-old boy at the bowling alley would have walked away and just
Right.
been like,
Yeah, the
no,
whole
that's
thing's a
ungettable.
scam.
Yeah,
Did he call the police afterwards?
of course. They
Yeah.
raided the place within minutes.
They
We swatted that place.
they-
we swatted a lot of things.
They said we're right in the middle of a triple homicide, but we're gonna drop everything and come right over there.
God damn, it's a great thing. Swatting wasn't a thing when I was 13, and
Yeah.
all of our idiot friends were 13.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and you wouldn't have done it.
No,
but
we would have been in
other-
the room like egging them on though, and like
Yeah,
to just be like, I want to see what happens.
Right.
But like, yeah, there are some people that would have made those calls
absolutely.
happily.
I mean, they could still do it now, Tim.
They could.
Yeah, they'd probably be better at covering their tracks than when they were 13.
I don't know. A lot of those people are pretty dumb.
But anyway, so I took the 300. They don't. I was like, the guy put it under the counter. I was like, you don't open it up so I can see if I made a good decision or not. No, it wasn't even that. I took the 300 and I went like, all right, now it's time for the moment of truth. Let's see if I made a good decision or not. And he goes, oh no, we don't open them.
What the hell?
And, well, that convinced me like I made the right decision.
Yeah.
If they're not opening it,
Yeah.
you scoundrel.
Nobody will ever, like a guy that's hanging around for an hour and seeing people bringing those boxes up and be like, every single one had 10 tickets.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, he was probably afraid of me launching an investigation.
Yeah. Oh, he knows a sharp tack when he sees one.
He saw how much shit I was walking around with from the claw machines. It's probably like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to get one over on this genius.
So you got the 2 balls.
Uh-huh.
You got an octopus plush.
Yeah.
You got an alien.
A little alien.
You got much like those aliens that are on display at the Mexican Congress right now.
Uh-huh.
You got the 300 tickets, which
Yes.
I've changed my stance on. I'm supportive of
I'm
your decision.
So glad that you
I'm proud of
finally
you,
came
Tom.
around.
Yeah.
Honorable mention. There was a claw machine. You know the claw machines with the like scooper claws?
The candy ones?
Yeah, the
Where it's
candy
just
ones.
Like, you want some Tootsie Rolls? Yeah. And some of those
Yeah.
fruit Tootsie Rolls, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take some of those.
So they had those. I didn't bother with the candy ones, but they had one with snaps. You know, little snaps you throw.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
go pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I could go for that. So first try, I grab one, but I grab it too well, Tim. It doesn't scoop it up, but it gets both sides. Goes up, tries to grab it harder, and goes for like a minute straight. And then,
All the snaps don't start snapping at this
no,
point?
it wasn't
Okay.
strong enough. And then the display changes to say E1, and the claw drops into the machine, and the machine was just broken.
Huh.
So I broke one machine. And I was like, should I go over and be like,
What-
hey,
what-
man. Exactly. Like, what am I going to you owe me $1 worth of snaps, please, sir. But it's like,
I'm a 42-year-old man. Can you please...
open the machine, give me my snaps. But then I was like, should I at least like tell him it's broken? And I was like, nah, he'll blame me. I'm just going to keep my big mouth shut.
Yeah, I don't know that the blame means anything.
He chased me out of there. Timmy already saw us robbing him blind. And now I'm breaking the equipment because I'm too good at it. So then, so here's what I got with my 300 tickets, Tim. Here's the grand finale of
The
prizes.
coup de
that I
grace.
won. The first one, a very nicely made standard whoopee cushion.
Oh, regular size?
Regular size.
Standard size.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't fallen into that trap.
I know. You know what, Tim? As I said it, I realized, why'd I tell this guy I just got a whoopee cushion? He's going to be on his guard all night now.
Yeah, I'm on high alert now.
It's going to be so hard to get him. And the second thing, Tim, the biggest prize I won, a pair of spy glasses that let me see what's going on behind me.
Tom, can I see them?
Tim, minor programming note. I completely skipped over two of the other big wins that I got.
Yeah, you trotted them out for me, and I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, and one's like a little shitty slinky that doesn't really even do anything. I think it was like 5 It was like I had a give me that. But the other
I didn't even think about it. Just happened.
But the other one, a set of chattering teeth, wind up chattering teeth, which is also a great classic gag. So I feel like if I walked out of there with nothing but spy glasses, a whoopee cushion, and chattering teeth, I'd be happy. You know, that's an afternoon's worth of laughs for everybody.
Tom, you did the Jersey Shore right.
Yeah, thank you.
Best vacation, again. That sounds like just hearing about it was better than experiencing any vacation that I've ever been on.
Well,
the last 15 minutes of my life was more.
It was the best vacation you ever had. Just listening.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I take that as quite a compliment, Tim. But this week, that's not what we're here to talk about.
No,
we're
here to move books.
Yeah. Which coincidentally, I have a new one of.
Wait, what?
Yeah, coming out, or it's out by the time you're hearing this.
The street date
has been broken.
Is
that what you mean?
No. It's September 15th?
Yes.
Oh, okay. A matter of hours from when we're recording this.
From current recording time.
Yeah, but right now it's out there.
I can't wait to
get
read it.
The latest book in the Metal series.
It's not the Meta series, Tim. The latest and final book.
The final chapter.
Yeah.
It's just one chapter.
No, it's not just one. It's an entire book.
Very confused.
You've done more to hurt my career than if you actually were trying.
That's the frustrating part.
Jokes.
I have nothing but good intentions.
I know. You're trying your best, but unfortunately everything just blows up in your face.
Story of my goddamn life over here.
But I figured that would be... I was like, oh, maybe I should say to Tim, hey, let's do the episode about my books. But I didn't want to do that.
Why not?
I don't remember everything that happens in my books.
That's good. A guy that wrote the conclusion of the story.
No, I mean, I went through and checked things, of course. I refresh my memory. But I'm very bad at recalling, especially I feel like when I'm writing, sometimes I'll have two different ideas. And or I'll write beginning with one idea and then halfway through I'll be like, I should change that. It should be this. And then when I'm done, I'm like, wait, which one did I go with? I can't remember. So that kind of stuff.
Right.
Plus, you haven't read all the books, so how would you know all the deep dive questions?
I've read, I don't think I've read all of them, but I've read most of them.
Okay.
A baker's dozen.
Okay, then start peppering me with questions, Tim.
So this character, Jim.
Uh-huh.
Thinly veiled reference to a man named Tim.
People have, of course, pointed that out, and I swear to God it didn't even occur to me. I mean, maybe it did subconsciously.
Yeah. Maybe you were incepted.
Which is maybe I was incepted by you, and it didn't completely take.
Yeah.
And I decided the character's name should be Jim instead
Maybe
of Tim.
I made the decision. Like, it'd be too obvious. He'd realize this
Right.
and veto this idea.
Right.
Because the last thing he wants to do is give me any credit or notoriety.
Yeah. You were under a lot of pressure. The dreams were collapsing in on themselves.
There was a snowmobile chase that I wasn't exactly sure was happening.
You had to get out of there. A slow motion van was falling into a river.
Yeah.
A lot going on. A lot to keep track of.
Tom, the name of the book?
Infinity's End.
I knew that because I saw the marketing. I saw
Yes.
your online marketing for it, which is very impressive. By
Thank
the way.
you.
Infinity's End.
Yeah.
The end of the meta series,
The end of
or
the
at least this tale that you're telling.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But for right now, this is.
We
the end
all
of the
know what
story.
happens. Authors are like, and that's the end of it. Now on to something new. Oh, you don't like that as much?
Yeah, I'm completely reserving the right to do that. So.
Did you know that there are fantastic beasts in the world as well?
Maybe I didn't tell you the story about what happened 100 years ago. So yeah. And my first book, Tim, I went back and re-edited it.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Edited out all the slurs.
not all the slurs. There
Not
were
all the slurs. That would be a too
No,
tall an
come
order.
on.
You would the book wouldn't make sense.
There
anymore.
is a little something called artistic license, Tim. No, but actually there were I think one or two swear words in there that I forgot were in the first book.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a series where it was originally more adult, and then they realized, hey, let's
gear this more towards kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that happened with the Terminator movies. The first two are R, and then I think all the rest are PG-13.
Oh, yeah.
But not it's not like changing it to kids.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or just being like the vibe of the tone of the first one is like, a little bit more adult. And it's like, this could actually be a little bit more mass appeal. Let's soften some of the edges. Anyway, let me be the first to congratulate you.
Thank you.
On the successful launch of Infinity's End.
Thank you. Hopefully it's successful. But.
The clock might strike midnight while we're recording here, and you'll be like, I'm ruined.
I'll never recover from
the numbers
this.
are in.
But like I was saying, I re-edited that first book. I might do it. I might do it again. But that's up there too. And guess what? It's on sale right now, 99 cents. If you're hearing this before Thursday, the digital copy. Sometimes I say things like that, and people are like, "It says it's like $15." I'm like, the digital copy. You think I can send things out physically for 99 cents?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sending out anything, to be honest with you. It's Amazon doing it.
Now, when somebody orders a book from Amazon, it's not the author sending that out personally from their house?
It's not. It's they have warehouses and machines that can make books.
Wow.
Yeah. And they use those machines to make the books, and then they send the books.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The machines send the books, too? They wish.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Yeah. YA.
Why? But yeah, we're talking about young adult books, which I feel like aren't as popular as they used to be, right?
Really?
I mean, I'm not speaking necessarily from personal experience. I'm just saying I'm thinking about the days of Twilight, the days of the Hunger Games. And then there were all the Hunger Games knockoffs, like the Maze Runner and Divergent. Not necessarily knockoffs, but very similar genre.
I feel
dystopian
YA series.
Yeah.
I think what happened was Divergent. That's one of them, right?
Yeah. That was one. That was the Shailene Woodley one that I think they made 3 movies, and there was supposed to be a 4th, and they just didn't make it.
Yeah,
or maybe
and that's
2, and they didn't make the 3rd.
I feel like that was when we saw it pains me to say this, the crass side of Hollywood, where it's just like, oh, this stuff doesn't work anymore. Cut off this whole pipeline. And then all the publishers were like, all right, Hollywood's not optioning this. Close down this pipeline. It's done. We're not publishing any more of this.
Yeah. I mean, there's. I remember with those Divergent movies, it was weird because I believe they made 3 of them.
I couldn't make heads or tails of what any of that was. It all looks so scary.
But it was one of these things where I believe the first 2 movies actually made very good money. And then the third one didn't. And they just immediately cut bait. They were like, forget it. And I think they floated like, oh, we might make the 4th movie as like a TV series. And it sounds like all the actors' agents reminded them like, you did not sign up. You did not pay and sign my client up for a TV series. Like we would have to renegotiate that. And guess what? Like this person's a bigger star now. So it's going to cost. They said they were like, forget it. Well, this won't do anything.
Yeah. I'd rather do nothing.
And I mean, it's not it's not like release the Snyder cut. You don't see.
No, people are clamoring for Divergent everywhere I go. I was in a hipster coffee shop earlier today.
Yeah.
I heard 2 people talking about how much they want to see a Divergent 4.
Oh, yeah? Were they talking about starting a viral campaign to
threaten the head of the studio?
Threaten
the children of the head of the studio?
I mean, but the thing is, now we know maybe these media executives do need to be threatened with bodily harm to do the right thing.
Tom's words, not mine.
Like restore, not the kids. Leave the kids alone, of course. But I don't know. What harm would a pie in the face and during a big public event do?
Tom, you ever think about how that leave Britney alone guy? He was right.
Yeah. That's it. That's what you want to know if I ever think about. It's nothing to do with this.
Yeah, you said leave the kids alone.
Britney
was but a child.
She wasn't, but she still should have been left alone.
Yeah. Leave her alone, Tom.
Yeah. Britney's my age.
I know, but regardless, I wish you would stop objectifying her.
I'm not, Tim. I don't.
Okay.
YA books, young adult books.
Young adult books. Tom, do you have a working definition of a young adult book?
I don't really. It's, I guess, it's like a very fuzzy genre, I feel like.
Yeah, like what makes something young adult? Mm-hmm. Like a novel, right? We're talking novels here.
Novels, yeah.
What makes a novel young adult? Why can't it just be like, it's just for everyone?
Yeah. I think as a general rule, anything with a protagonist who's a young adult is just automatically assumed to be a young adult novel.
But is that true?
I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions, but like I can't think of...
Catcher in the Rye. The Catcher in the Rye. Famous. Is that a young adult novel?
Well, I'll tell you, Tim. We're looking at some of the Time magazine top 100 books, but
best YA books of all time.
Yeah, and
all time. Oh, they always get their brand again, don't they?
It always comes around the time. I went through the list, and I believe there are 10 books out of these 100 that I've read, and. Yeah, they're definitely my point being Catcher in the Rye is on that list.
Right.
Which, that's what I'm saying. I guess makes sense that if there's a young adult protagonist, it's considered young adult. I can't think of a book that has a young adult protagonist that people don't consider a young adult book.
What about Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close?
Yeah, I guess maybe not. But that's like a kid, right?
Yeah. What do we define it? Like a teen?
Yeah, like a teen is more what I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, I'll rack my brain, but I'm not very well read.
But
this might surprise you.
But I also feel like young adult, beyond that, if it's a book you read in school, then it's also considered young adult nowadays, even though often you're reading it in school just because it's an example of classic literature.
Right.
It's one of the best examples, and it's
Romeo and Juliet. Is that a young adult production?
Yeah, I mean, I would consider that young adult.
Okay.
And of course, like the audience is aimed. The audience for the book is young adults.
Pervert adults.
Not pervert adults. Young adults, however, most young adult books, the vast majority of young adult readers are regular adults.
Is that true?
I don't know if it's vast majority, but it is, at least in my case, it's definitely the majority. I have more adults reading my books than young adults.
Now, when somebody buys your book, you get like a full demographic profile, social security number, address.
No, I don't get any information. I'm basing this on like emails that I've gotten from people.
Well, kids don't know how to use email.
Kids know how to use email.
Gen Z doesn't.
Right.
They're like, I'll kill myself before I write an email.
DMs, snaps.
Tom,
TikToks.
not be DMing with young adults, please.
If somebody likes the books and they DM me, I'll say thank you. But yeah, I won't be like, oh, so what's going on with
climate,
you?
Tom, I think you should just ignore it. Just delete.
You
delete
can
your
be
account.
Nice without being a creep, Tim.
Can I tell you something?
What?
This is when Twitter died in my mind.
When you stop being able to DM teens?
No, when people started saying, delete your account, and then being like, mic drop. You know what I mean? Like somebody would say something like, I think we should kill, put a whole group of people in a bonfire because I disagree with their views or something. And somebody would be like, delete your account. And then they'd be like, yeah, I won that argument. It's like, I mean, you're right to rip, but those aren't equivalent. Just be like, I don't know.
I'm glad you got that off your chest, Tim. I'm glad you pointed out the one cringe thing that's ever been said on Twitter.
Delete your account. And then everybody responds with the people on their side with a clap emoji.
Yeah, with claps, or maybe like a GIF of Leonardo DiCaprio raising his glass from The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, I consider a young adult novel to be aimed. The target audience is young adults.
Does that mean?
But like I said, I'm mostly adults, but I have more teenagers than I would if I weren't writing young adults. More teenagers
than you would like.
No, Hey, Tim, I love all my readers.
Yeah. And that's what gets you in trouble.
So yeah, that would be my definite. I feel like there's not a firm definition of young adult.
So it's not necessary. So it's not enough to just be teens. Young adults are the target audience, and this is about two old folks growing old together. I think goddamn team's ever going to want to read that?
Right. I think that basically is
they're self-absorbed, these teens, right?
Well, who isn't nowadays?
Yeah, but they're just like, I don't want to hear about anybody who's not like me.
Yeah. I mean, that was true of me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Not necessarily exactly like me, but I was more interested in the stories of fellow teens rather than like two dumb old fucks like us.
Yeah, I'd like two dumb young fucks like the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. But Tim, if I came to you and I was like, look, I wrapped up the last series, but get this, I got a new series coming out. It's a young adult novel, focuses on two men in their early 40s. I think it's going to be a huge hit. You'd be like, I don't,
But are they doing a podcast?
They're doing a podcast. It's two guys in their 40s doing a podcast. And I think
one of them happens to be named Jim.
Tim, as I mentioned earlier.
Oh, do we need to do a retake?
It's fine. We'll roll with it. We're looking at the Time.com list of the top 100.
Right.
I was looking at the Goodreads top 100 list But I feel
Goodreads is a mess. Can I just go on record saying
Yes.
I can't make heads or tails of Goodreads anymore.
me neither. And especially like as an author on there and having an author, like I don't even look at it anymore.
Really?
Because it's just, I don't know, I can't make heads or tails of it. It's also like a notoriously critical community on there.
Right.
Like a lot of people that seem,
On the internet?
yeah, but like on Goodreads specifically, people like to like really tear books apart on there. It seems.
Yeah.
For
clout, probably.
Yeah, for clout. I just know that I've heard that from lots of other authors. Like I've yet to meet an author who's like, it's great.
A great supportive community.
Yeah,
where
you know what?
fans
Like
can
has
come together.
led to my success is Goodreads. So yeah, and there are rumors that Amazon might be looking to get rid of them.
Oh, really? Well,
Offload 'em.
They've done so much with it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I looked at that top 100 list, and I felt like too many of the books on that list were modern, or like very modern, like
Right.
new releases. So I was like, we don't know those books. And like I said, I only read 1/10 of the books on this list.
You
But
don't understand about Goodreads, Tom?
what's that?
Sometimes you'll be like, like Tom Reynolds. Does it say like Goodreads author next to your name?
I maybe something like that.
Because that means like the author is on Goodreads, and like
Yeah.
maybe he'll respond to you, or like he does Q&As or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you can like follow authors on there and stuff.
Yeah, but like it'll be like, oh, this is like they're active on the platform. But then it's like Jane Austen, Goodreads author.
Yeah,
What's
she's
going on
in
there?
She's mixing things up. She's stirring, doing what Jane Austen always does, stirring the pot, causing controversy.
Now, if Goodreads could bridge the gap to the netherworld, the other side. And it's like, yeah, Jane Austen can communicate. Anyone who's published a book can communicate with the physical world.
I mean,
but only through Goodreads. This is the only connection that we have. to them.
They're the one website that has a tiny little wire connected to it, going to the afterlife,
heaven.
Into heaven. It's all the way up there. God forbid.
And to hell, because like most authors.
Most authors are in hell.
Yeah, you ever read a book, Tom?
Tim, I read, I want to say
At least 10.
dozens of books.
Yeah, all these authors, Tom. I hate to tell you, because you're an author yourself.
But they're all going to hell
Yeah,
for lying, for making up lies.
exactly.
All right. I'm starting at the top of books, and I know you've read a lot of these because I read some of them in school with you, although we were never in an English class together.
No,
And
we were barely in the hallways together.
it's true. And some in I think we had a gym class together once or twice.
Maybe
Yeah.
both of us couple real gym class
I have
heroes.
a very, very clear image of what your body looked like as a teenager.
Cool.
No, but I do feel like we had a gym class at least once,
Maybe.
but no other.
I don't
real
have
classes.
very many recollections of gym class. I don't know. Like I certainly didn't
Well,
participate.
yeah, of course. We all remember the time you got hit so hard in the head.
I got pantsed pretty bad one time in gym class.
I know. So that's where my recollection of
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, does that? Yeah, Tom.
yeah,
if you were in that class.
Yeah, because your underwear got too.
Yeah.
Right? Oh wow.
A ruthless young lady did it to me.
Oh wow. Tim, nowadays a young lady would be canceled for disrobing a man against his will
Yeah.
in front of dozens of children.
Just society.
Well, you weren't a man, I guess. You were a boy. Yeah, even worse.
Yeah. She'd
And
be
she
in
was how
jail.
old? She was 35.
Yeah. I don't know how she got in there.
It was one of those situations where an adult's pretending to be a teen to help out
Always
the
a
local
documentary
vice
about
unit.
it. Yeah.
So anyway, these are some books we read. Little Women.
The Littlest.
We read this. I read it in school. We also read it on Books and Podcasts. And hey, we all saw the movie
starring Florence Pugh
Yeah.
and Hermione, right? She was in the movie.
She was in it.
And Bob Odenkirk.
Right.
That's the top billed 3 actors.
Those were the top 3 billed actors. Yeah.
Those were the titular Little Women.
Yep. It was an unusual casting choice to have Bob Odenkirk as one of the Little Women.
I mean, it was an unusual casting choice to have Bob Odenkirk as the dad.
Yeah, but it was great. He did a great job.
Yeah. But
remember how much everybody cheered when he came back when you thought he might be dead?
Yeah, but
sorry for the spoilers for Little Women.
Do you remember how everybody went like, Bob Odenkirk when he came on the screen? Yeah. Tom by Louisa May Alcott.
Yeah.
Good book.
Yeah, very good book.
Good book.
Yeah, when we reread it for Books of Podcast, I think I read it, right?
You read it.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know if I actually ever read it, but like between you explaining it to me and like I was certainly supposed to read it in high school.
Cliff Notes in high school.
Yeah.
That's what, like, I definitely read it in high school, but I'm sure I skimmed parts of it and whatever. But rereading it as an adult, I was like, oh, I can see why this is a classic. It's a very good book.
Well, that's, I think.
And kind of timeless.
Right. And like, so is that a young adult book? If you gave it to the majority of young adults, they'd be like, yeah, I'm going to like skim this at best.
I mean, I think only because it's old, so there are some things you can't relate to, but I think there are a lot of things in that book that teens today could still relate to, as long as they can get past the like old-fashioned prose.
Right.
Maybe you should write a new version in Gen Z slang.
I would love to.
You can talk about them rizzing each other up.
Rizzing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand any of this.
Well, that's because you don't have any riz, Tim.
What's Riz?
Oh, boy. Wouldn't you like to know?
God damn it. I'll never
You know
learn.
what it is, Tim? It's short for charisma.
Ah.
Yeah. And like charming somebody.
I don't like any of this.
Rizzing them up.
Look, I don't have to like it. I shouldn't like it.
Right. But you're going to start using it
but
in
I
your
also
daily
feel
conversation.
like other people my age are like learning this slang.
Right.
Whereas like in generations past, we'd be like, let the young people do the young people stuff.
No, people,
and like I'm not going to worry about this.
People
And now
have
everybody's got to listen to Olivia Rodrigo.
Tim, you told me you listened to the new Olivia Rodrigo and you liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so what?
The music's good, Tom.
Yeah, but
I don't care for what she's saying.
You hate yourself for listening to it and liking it, though.
Yeah. It's got a lot of Riz, that one.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I can use I can hang.
I know, Tim, but I don't think it's a new phenomenon that a generation thinks the generation younger than them has stupid slang.
Yeah.
What
I'm saying is that our generation is embracing that stupid slang.
Yes.
Where it should be like, let the kids do the kid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not try to participate.
Right.
It's cringe when we try to participate,
right.
from what I understand.
Let me use some of this slang in like a work meeting.
Yeah.
To let everybody know I'm still hip and cool. I still got it.
Yeah. The Riz.
The Riz
is what you got still.
Yeah. But again, I think it's more specific to like trying to charm like a potential sexual partner.
Oh.
Not always, but a little bit.
I don't trust. I don't trust that you know. I don't trust. I don't trust that you understand any of it. Tom, the most plugged-in guy I know to youth culture, is gonna tell me how.
Do you think there were any like in the mid-90s like radio show hosts that were having a conversation like, what is it with all these kids nowadays saying something they don't believe and then ending it with not?
That confused me though as a kid at first.
What do you mean it confused you? It made perfect sense. It just meant I didn't mean what I just said.
I know. I saw it for the first time in a Nickelodeon commercial.
Okay.
And the Nickelodeon commercial was like, this Thanksgiving, at Thanksgiving dinner, be sure to eat all of your Brussels sprouts and be very polite and rub your grandma's feet. Not. And like not having heard that before, I was just like, wait, what? Because that doesn't mean like you're
Wait,
saying
what
not.
the hell is going on? What should I do?
I'm only kidding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so it took me a minute to put the contextual clues
You
together.
eventually got, and then that was all you were saying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's
I wasn't really saying that. Not.
exactly. The next book, Tim, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Yeah, more like a child grows in Brooklyn.
Yeah, the child.
According
was
to our
kind
high
of
school.
Yes, our high school English teacher. We had the same high school English teacher at different times.
Yeah, we had the same shtick.
Who
His stance on A Tree Grows in Brooklyn never changed. His brother-in-law was an airline pilot.
The stance was mostly that he grew up in Canarsie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
this book takes place in Canarsie, and it's basically he could have written it, like it's his.
Yeah,
his
it's like,
story.
and you didn't, and now you're
teaching
telling
idiots.
you're teaching a bunch of idiots who don't care.
We weren't gonna remember anything from this book except that. I just remember this teacher. Like, I remember this being a good book. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I remember liking it. And I remember him constantly telling us that it was just like him. And then one day he told this story. He was laughing so hard he could barely even get through the story about how one time his friend pretended like he was going to push him off the pier but didn't do it. But he was like, he couldn't get. I thought he was going to puke. He was laughing so hard.
Well, that's. That's a sad life.
Yeah.
A sad life poorly lived.
I've read the Diary of Anne Frank. Not much funny to say about that.
No, you know what? That's one of those books that's like, yeah, I'm sure I've read it. I don't think I have.
Yeah, I think I read it twice throughout school, and probably like the first time I didn't really read it. I skimmed it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do remember reading it, and again, that's another book where it's very relatable to a teenager. I think even
not to us with all the Holocaust stuff, Tom.
No, but like some of her like concerns.
Yeah.
Like
it was like when Justin Bieber went to the Anne Frank house and signed the guest
that
book,
she would have been a believer,
and like everybody was like, oh, I made it about him. But like, and then her estate came out and was like, no, yeah, she would have been. Because she, like, the whole point of this is that she was like
an
a
actual
regular
teenager,
person, a regular teen that like lived through extraordinary and horrific times and experiences. And like, so yeah, in a perfect world.
Yeah, it should be believable and like
believable.
But teens should be able to read this now and think this could happen again.
Yeah,
I
relate to her, except for all of the things that had like this bad stuff is not happening to me, but all the other ways.
Right, you saw that she was just a regular teen girl who never intended for this diary to be public. I assume, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wasn't writing it to an audience. Certainly could have never known how influential and big of a book it would become. But I feel like that's one of the like.
They should publish more little girls' diaries, just like non-notable little girls. Like,
yeah, just a regular, nothing bad happens to a little girl. Just so you can compare and contrast.
Yeah, you're like, well, you're not as good as Anne Frank.
Yeah, imagine that.
Your writing is pedestrian.
You're
nothing of note happened to you.
12 years old, you go to the Scholastic Book Fair, you find out they're publishing your diary.
Yeah, so I hope
and this is how I find out.
I hope Jack doesn't read it and hear how obsessed I am with Jack, and then
exactly.
Jack's
that could,
cracking it open,
ruin my social standing. But yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's one of the like serious, important books you read as a teenager that is in. I mean, maybe just because it's not.
Hopefully, makes you a little less of a piece of shit.
Yeah. Maybe.
But as I said, I don't think I've ever read it. So.
And helps you contextualize things like World War II,
Right.
In a more relatable way. The next book, Catcher in the Rye, the old favorite.
James Dean Salinger.
The old favorite.
Jimmy Dean.
The old favorite of, what was the guy's name? John Mark Carr? John Quincy Adams? Who's the guy that shot Lennon?
I'm not thinking is John Mark Carr the guy that claimed he killed John Benet Ramsey?
Yeah.
Now that you said his name, I'll never think of the guy who shot John Lennon.
It wasn't Hinckley. He shot Reagan.
Yeah. John Lennon assassin. Why don't we just go assassin?
Yeah.
Mark David Chapman. Oh, my God.
David Chapman.
John Mark Carr.
I guess John Quincy Adams. My next guess was Mark Paul Gosselaar. I knew it was three names.
Something's going to come out about that guy, but I don't think it's that he killed John Lennon.
Yeah. Famously, the book he had on hand. Tim, I was telling you a little bit. I was in a used bookstore this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the shop owner wouldn't shut up. He was making it real clear what the difference between a bookstore and a library is.
Oh, jeez.
So, but he was...
Somebody's going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to read this whole 300-page novel in your store in the next 4 minutes.
Wait, were you... Oh, no. I was just saying he was being loud instead of quiet.
Oh, I see.
Not that he was kicking people out for reading. Anyway,
you can see how I would.
Yes, yeah,
okay,
I should have been. I should have been more clear. But there was like this weird, we were staying at a house on the beach. It was lovely, and like when you're staying with a group of people, it's like just put the TV on, just put random things on or whatever, just kind of like background noise. But one of the things that was on the TV a lot during one day was Impractical Jokers, which led me to find the Impractical Jokers bit where they tried to get old Tom, and old Tom didn't fall for it and also refused to sign a release.
So you got a blurry face, Tom.
No, I'm not even in it blurry face.
Oh.
Yeah, which I was disappointed in. But
should have signed the release.
But anyway, I was, maybe I had Impractical Jokers on the mind. I thought that was what was happening in this bookstore. Because this like middle-aged, not even middle, I feel like older than middle-aged, elderly, not elderly, but like, I guess not as old as our parents, but in
mid-60s?
In between our age and our parents' age.
Okay.
And she was like, she went up to the shop owner and she's like, why is there so much controversy about Catcher in the Rye?
Okay.
Like, how do you have an interest in this, but you don't know, like, why?
It's not something that you've looked into in the last...
Yeah. And you're like, I have to ask a bookstore owner
50
sometime.
years. Yeah.
I feel like he actually did give a good explanation of like, yeah, a lot of people who have done bad things have either been, had this book with them or like quoted it in their diaries. And like most people read this book and they're like, yep, that's what being a teenager's like. And then some people read this book and they're like, somebody should do something. Like,
Right.
Identify too much with Holden Caulfield and don't realize like, yeah, but in the end, he doesn't do anything. There's just teen angst, and most people grow out of it.
He doesn't assassinate even one guy.
No, not even. Lord of the Flies.
Is that why? Yeah, that's YA.
Yeah.
That's the first, I think, indisputable. There's YA.
Yeah?
Mostly because it's like kind of like the Hunger Games. Bunch of kids running around in the forest trying to kill it.
We read that on Books to Podcast, and I think we both read it in school.
This episode just full of plugs. Buy my book. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Go to our high school. You can read all these books.
Yeah, take Mr. Giordano's English class.
Hear stories about Canarsie. But I do remember Lord of the Flies being like a rare classic that we had to read in school that everybody read and liked.
Yeah.
That like even, I don't know, 50 years removed, kids were still into.
Yeah. I remember being a little let down. I was like, this is a little bit more boring than I was expecting.
Yeah, but then they start killing each other and stuff, and they're like, whoa,
yeah, and
cool.
then there's a pig's head.
Yeah.
And then the pig's head talks to who? Simon or something?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like,
Also
wait,
annoying.
what's happening here? Did
Yeah.
this really happen? And that's when that was my first inclination to understand that books can be weird.
Yeah, books can be weird.
Yeah.
And they can like seem normal for a while and then do something weird. It's like, you ever hear about there are people that didn't realize that Game of Thrones wasn't based on real life.
I think we talked about that last week on this very show, Tom.
It's something I've been thinking about since then. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, by Harper Lee. I read this in
Yeah.
high school when we were supposed to.
Yes.
Freaking loved it.
I remember this also being like a pretty popular class read that everybody was like into it.
Yeah.
And liked the characters, liked Atticus, liked Scout,
What I
like
didn't...
Boo Radley.
I never got the full clear answer on what happened with Go Set a Watchman. Like, people were like,
yeah.
oh, it was a sequel. No, actually, it was the first draft that
Yeah.
she was convinced to completely rewrite. And it's like, that was the first draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's not close enough to still make sense
Yeah.
that this is the first draft. And it's like, they stole it from an old lady who didn't know
Right,
anything.
yeah, didn't
And
know
I was
what
like,
she was
maybe I
signing
shouldn't
over.
read it. And
Right.
then I just didn't read it.
I feel like it just kind of like came and went, that people
Yeah.
were like, yeah, this is kind of like a rough sketch of a story. I mean, I imagine it's somewhere, I imagine that kind of makes sense that she wrote this first, Go Tell a Watchman, and then, wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, took some elements that she liked from that and used them for this book. And that's why people are like, maybe to Go Tell a Watchman was like a more sprawling story, and she decided to like focus. It's impossible to know.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of like the 2018 reboot of Murphy Brown, whereas like I'm sure the publisher was like, "Oh, everybody's gonna be all over this
We're gonna
thing."
be getting that Murphy Brown money again.
Yeah, and then it was just kind of like people are like, "I don't really know what this is. I don't
Yeah.
think this is like, I don't know. You guys didn't think this through. Like, appreciate you trying,
Not
respect
really
everybody
if it
involved."
Tricking an old woman.
Yeah, that's true. I never say that about Candice Bergen, Tom.
She had no idea that was a set.
she thought she was Murphy Brown.
Yeah, they kept it going 24 hours a day. She thought she had like woken up in an alternate reality.
Was Frank Fontana on that?
I don't think like anyone was in it except Murphy Brown.
Huh.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Have not read the book. I think our school was too square.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this on my list, even though I didn't read it. Like I said, I did all these books, but we read a lot of Judy Blume. We read all the like fudge books. I remember. At least
Super
I
Fudge.
did. Yeah, in grade school.
Right.
But yeah, we never read. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
You know what there should be? Some
What?
Beverly Cleary books on this.
Yeah?
That's for smaller kids, I guess, right?
What did she write? What's her-
Ramona the Pest, Beezus and
yeah.
Ramona, Henry Huggins, all those guys.
Yeah, it's a little bit younger. And
Yeah.
I feel like Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret is it's aimed a little older than like the Fudge books were
Right.
and all that stuff. The Giver.
I pretended to read it for summer reading to get credit.
Uh-huh.
I did not read this book.
You read it for Books the Podcast.
No, not The
Or
Giver.
I did then. One of us did.
No, we didn't read The Giver.
We read The Giver.
No,
Then we read it on this show.
we read The Giving Tree.
No, we read The Giver.
Shel Silverstein.
We read The Gipper.
I don't think so.
We did.
What's it about?
This guy likes giving stuff.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, it's like everything's in black and white, and I'm thinking of the movie, but I think also in real life everything is in black and white because everybody had to take pills that just kind of like sedated them, and then like one guy didn't want to take the pills, and he stopped taking the pills, and he started seeing colors and stuff.
I don't recall this at all.
Holes. You read Holes for Books.
Yeah,
Podcast.
Louis Sacker.
Yeah, that's like a new classic.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, new. It's I don't know, 30 years
Yeah,
old.
everybody listening to this is like, I watched that movie when I was 4.
My grandfather read that book. And then the last one that I have from this list is The Hunger Games, which has made it onto the top 100, which I don't think is unearned.
The Hunger Games on the top 100 YA books?
Yeah.
100% that is earned. That should be top 10.
Maybe it is. It's in my top 10. But I was going to say that I feel like that...
It's a phenomenon.
That series ended in a whimper.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the movies now.
No, I'm thinking of the books too. I remember like the second one being very good, and then the third one not really liking it all that much.
I read the first one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, I remember the third one. I liked it.
Yeah. They ended it after 3,
Yeah.
but now there's a prequel.
Now there's a prequel.
The same thing.
Yeah, and same thing. Like she went and wrote something else, I think, that didn't do well, so she wrote a prequel.
She got addicted to caviar. She's like, oh, I got to keep up my expensive caviar habit.
You know what? It gets the best of a lot of people. But, it makes a lot of sense, especially like somebody like that, where they're at the point, I'm sure they're getting offers from their publisher to write essentially a 4th Hunger Games book that even if they're like, I don't have that great of an idea, probably being offered an amount of money that you'd have to be stupid to turn down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. At a certain point. I was going to say one person I feel like that was more kind of did something different, but also went back to the well too many times was what's her name? Stephanie Meyer that wrote the Twilight books.
Oh, she did other things?
She wrote a book that is, I think, all the books or maybe just the first couple from the Vampire Boys perspective.
The Vampire Boy? Oh, this is within the Twilight
Edward
universe.
Cullen, yeah.
Okay. She didn't like leave that space and be like, okay, now I'm going to do like a 1920, like a Newsies thing. And then...
I think she did. I think she wrote another...
A Newsies thing?
No, she wrote a book about like an alien girl or a girl that falls in love with an alien.
Ah.
And
that seems kind of...
I
see where you're going with that.
He was like a little warmed over, but also it's like aliens aren't sexy. Like vampires are sexy, lady.
It depends on the alien.
I would think you should know that better than anybody. Writing all these sexy vampires.
Yeah. Maybe she just thinks a lot of things are sexy.
So then she wrote this book that I remember reading a thing about it, and they were like, this book's really weird because a lot of the scenes in the book are the same scenes from like the earlier books. And apparently she I think kind of went crazy writing this book. Like it took like a lot to, which it seems like double
dipping.
dipping.
Think she's on drugs?
No. It seems like double dipping. It seems like, going back to the well for like an easy payday. But it sounds like to actually write a story, the same story, but from a different person's point of view and make that interesting is very difficult.
Lion King 1.5, my man.
No, is that what happened in Lion King 1.5?
Yeah, I haven't seen that or The Lion King, but I do know that fact.
Okay, well, maybe she should have...
The events of The Lion King as seen from Timon and Pumbaa. I think it's kind of like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern situation,
right.
yeah.
think it's Rosenstern and Guildenkrantz.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com.
You can find all our social media links there.
Yeah.
And
like, go participate in the Reddit. Go participate in the Discord. The Discord community is thriving.
Yes.
And we're not like those other goddamn podcasts where it's like, oh, you have to join the Patreon to do the Discord.
Huh.
No, you can just go in there.
I mean, there's a Patreon only.
There's a Patreon only, which is better than the rest of it. And you should all check that out. And you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/complete guide.
Yes. And you can follow me on social media at Tom Reynolds.
And I'm at your pal Tim.
But
I'm just going to tell you about the Patreon.
Yes.
We have a podcast called Books the Podcast, where we actually talk about books, not just
wow.
Yeah. Right now we're reading. We're this week we're wrapping up the book Sapiens, with I think we're going to have some trenchant criticism in there of the book, right?
Yeah.
And it's loose. It's a loose hour a week.
But it's tight.
But it's also tight when you think about it.
Patreon.com/complete guide. And like I said, I got a new book out and the old book, or the first old book, 99 cents for this week.
Meta.
Yeah.
Is the first book.
Yeah. And guess what, Tim?
The new book.
Oh, Infinity's End.
Infinity's End.
Yeah. And then there are four.
I didn't want to
5
accidentally get it
them.
wrong.
Yeah.
And then have
to redo the whole episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim, did you know this? That that first book coming up on its 10th anniversary. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, crazy stuff.
That book's a couple years older than me. What was it like? What was the world like when Meta came out? Because I don't know. I wasn't alive.
I mean, 10 years ago wasn't that much different than now.
Tom, 2013 wasn't different than 2023.
I mean, in some ways, yes.
Haven't you seen the memes where it's like it'll be a headline like, that features like Donald Trump and stuff, and you'd be like, if you told this to yourself, a mere 5 years ago, you'd be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, like the whole time that was happening, I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, that's true.
So I understand how my older self would have reacted. There are some differences, and there's some and then some things never change.
Hey, Christy Brinkley, he's gonna be a babe.
That's the first thing that comes. All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.